Go. We are going live. The beginning of a new semester. Let me get everything set up here. Looks like I'm going to have to do something very weird at the moment. I'm going to have to figure out how to get out of this infinity loop that I'm in. And I think I know how to do that. I just don't know how to do what I need to do at this particular moment. So give me just a second. I'm going to go to participants. That's not working. That is not working. Give me just a minute. It's a new day with new technology, and I have to do something a little different. Let's do Typora. There we go. That's good. Okay. Sorry about that. Now I'm going to jump over here and let the participants in. Admit all. Okay, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Good morning. Welcome to a new semester. Hello. I see a few faces. I hear a little bit of noise, but I don't hear any actual words. I'm Jim Munchback. I'll be your guide. Let me jump over here and fix a couple of things. I'm going to go current applicant. That's not going to work. You see, I'm having a little technical difficulty, which happens occasionally. This is. Give me just a second. I think I will go here. There we go. Okay, good morning to all from Ariel. Nice. Welcome each other. Say hello to each other. We'll get started here in a minute. I want to go over today's introduction. So today is just going to be a very casual few minutes of getting introduced, setting a few ground rules. Can you hear me? I do not have my headset on, so let me put my headset on. This is my headset. I'm going to put that on. It's connected.
We can hear you.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm going to put my AirPods in so that I hear you through the AirPods. So I think I'm working now. You can hear me great. Appreciate that. And you can see my screen, right? You see the syllabus for the course up there?
Yes.
Cool. Thanks. All right, I'm just going to hear you through the speakers on the computer because these are not connecting. So many pieces of technology to do this. So the sound is good, pretty good, decent?
Yeah, pretty good.
Cool, awesome. And you can see me, you can see my screen. As long as I don't click on the wrong button, I won't go into the infinity mode. So I want to mention right now as I'm sitting here admitting students into the Zoom meeting, we're going to do this. We're starting out, obviously, this semester, we're starting out basically online with the Zoom meeting. And it's being recorded. It's being live streamed to YouTube and to Facebook. So that will happen every week. And we're going to talk a little bit about the vote, the big vote. I don't know if you're as excited as I am to get to the answer to the results of our big vote for either online and on demand, which is what we're doing for the first few weeks, at least the first 2 weeks, or in class with mandatory attendance. So we're going to get to that. That's a big ticket item on today's agenda, is to figure out how are we going to do this semester. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your questions, and I really appreciate your votes. I've been counting them kind of manually. I don't have a spreadsheet just yet to give you an accurate count, but we will get to that. So what I'm doing right now is it's about 4 minutes after 10 a.m. This meeting is scheduled to start at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central, we'll start this meeting. If you can be here, great. By being here, you get to participate with questions and comments, and I'll ask you to post a couple of things here that might just for my benefit, really. It's kind of like I don't take roll, I don't take attendance. I just like to know who is here. But if you're not here live right now hearing my voice, maybe you're on Facebook, maybe you're on YouTube, maybe you're watching this at 2 in the morning. That's fine. Because of the way we have this class set up at the moment, and probably the way we will have it set up, for sure for the next couple of weeks, you can watch this Zoom meeting anytime. But you do need to watch the Zoom meeting because this is where I'm going to cover the questions that I receive throughout the week. This is where I'm going to cover the assignment that's coming up for the following week. So the Zoom meeting for now is a pretty important piece of the classroom puzzle. Is there a reason I moved the class from 11:30 to 10? Actually, that's a great question, and that's from Esther. So Esther, your class is still scheduled for 11:30. So because we're not meeting in the classroom, I just decided to do one Zoom meeting, post it, so you don't have to be here, Esther, especially since your schedule is actually for 11:30. So you won't miss anything by watching this at 11:30 next week, the week after, however we decide to do this. So thank you for your understanding. I'll be available. In fact, just this week, just to be sure, I'll go ahead and run the Zoom meeting at 11:30 for any students who really want to be present at 11:30. So I'll do that today and next week, and I'll do it, frankly, if it's necessary. I'll do it all the time. But the point is, if we do decide to go online, then there's really no reason for me to do a meeting at 10:30 and 11:30, unless you really want it, and then I'm happy to do it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm admitting students into the Zoom meeting. So what I want you to know, kind of right out of the chute, is I will do that. I will sit here and watch as students come aboard. But what happens is students come at 5 minutes after, 10 minutes after, 20 minutes after, 30 minutes after, a quarter. They'll come, with 15 minutes left. And so for the benefit and to respect those of you who show up on time, I'm going to be admitting students in the Zoom meeting all the way up until 5 minutes after the hour. So it's now 10:07 a.m. So typically at this point I would be beginning my instruction, my lecture, and so here we have another student that's coming in. So that student didn't hear anything that I said before now, and it's now 7-8 minutes after. So just be aware. Today I'm going to admit anyone who shows up, whatever time they show up. But the problem with that is I have to watch and look, and it's a big distraction for me to pay attention to let students in who come in late. So I won't do that after today. Today I'm going to do that, but after today I'm going to cut off at 5 minutes after 10. I will stop admitting students. So then if you come late, you will be required to jump over on Facebook or YouTube and watch the meeting there. And you can leave comments. I hope if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook right now, I hope you'll feel very comfortable leaving comments. Obviously, those comments are public comments. So if you don't like Facebook, I don't really like Facebook. I use it. It's a platform. It helps me meet students and folks who like Facebook. But I don't like Facebook. I don't like YouTube either. But again, it's a platform that allows me to do something that I couldn't do without the platform. And it's a very popular platform. So as you know, YouTube, Facebook, those are two platforms that this is being live streamed to. In fact, today I'm attempting to live stream this to LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn, but I'm not sure it's going to work. It hasn't worked in the past, but I'll let you know after today. I'll go check LinkedIn and see if it's live streaming. So students are continuing to join the meeting. So welcome to those of you who joined a few minutes late. I want to repost the announcement that I just made for those of you who came a little bit late. In the future, I'm going to be admitting students up until 5 minutes after After that, you will not be admitted into the meeting just because it's too distracting for me to have to sit here and watch and click every time someone comes in late. So, question from Cole. And by the way, 2 things with the chat in each of these meetings. If you will, when you get here, go ahead and tag in the chat with your name and the time that you're here. So if you're here at 10 a.m., just type your name and the time that you got here. The chat is easy for me to save and export, and I will use that as a very simple way to take roll for the students who are here. It's not critical. If you miss it, it's not a big deal, but it's a helpful way for me to see your name and just be reminded that you're participating. And when you're on the Zoom meeting, obviously that's a more tangible way for me to keep track of your participation. If I'm seeing your face or your name or hearing you in these meetings, then that's very helpful. So Esther, I answered your question. Cole, the updated spring 2022 syllabus is not currently uploaded on Blackboard. You know what? I'll do that. I'm going to make a list. I will do that as soon as we finish this. I'm sorry. I thought I did that. I had a little bit of a issue with Blackboard this semester. But that should have been there. I believe I uploaded it to the Faculty Center, which I'm required to do each semester. But I'll make sure I do that. Cole, thank you very much for the question. Yeah, you definitely need the updated due date. So I'll go over that in just a minute. That's one of the things we're going to do today is talk about what's required and how you will get through the course with an A. I know all of you want to earn an A, except there's probably 2 or 3 of you who are like me and you don't really care about an A. You just want to pass. I know maybe there's only 1 of you. Okay, maybe there are none of you who are like me. When I was in college, I paid for my own college, and nobody in my clan had ever gone to college, so nobody had ever graduated, I should say, and I was maybe the first in most of my clan to graduate from college, and I paid every penny of my own college. I worked full time. I was learning things that were interesting to me, and I enjoyed college. That's where I met my wife. That was the big event for me for college, was to find a woman, a beautiful woman, to become my wife and be the mother of my children. And yes, that's what I was at college for. And I achieved the objective. We're still happily married with 3 beautiful kids and 2 awesome grandkids. And yes, grandkids are awesome and children are just whatever. Okay, when you have a grandchild, you'll know what I mean. Anyway, all that to say, when I went to college, my focus, I wanted to pass because I was paying for the classes. But earning an A, here's the deal with earning an A. For me, maybe for you too. Earning an A requires extra effort. Like I had to really work hard to earn an A. And frankly, it wasn't worth it to me. I had too many things on my plate. I wanted to pass. I wanted a decent grade, but I ended up college with an average 2.82 GPA, I believe is what I got. It was not great. But I passed. I passed all of my classes, and I was able to graduate in 4 years. That was my goal. So another little piece of that story is my last semester of college, I had to take 21 hours in order to get everything fit into to graduate. Okay, so I didn't take any summer school throughout college. My goal was to graduate in 4 years without taking summer school, and I did that. The problem was my last semester I really had to pile up, and to this day I still have nightmares about that semester. So all that to say, look, I know, at least I believe, that pretty much everyone on this meeting and who watches this later, who's enrolled in this course, wants to earn an A. And so if you look at the reviews on ratemyprofessors.com, you'll see that the majority of students say this is an easy A if you do the homework. So I want this to be an easy course in terms of I don't want you to struggle. I don't want it to be challenging in terms of difficulty. I want it to be simple, straightforward, and relatively easy. Personal finance is one of those topics that it's very easy to get lost in the weeds, to get too deep into the technical stuff, and to miss the entire point. And so my hope, my goal in terms of being your instructor this semester is to make it as easy as possible for you to earn an A, because I know that's your goal, to earn an A. And a lot of you, most of you, many of you, here we go. I have another student I have to admit. So this student missed everything I said so far. And I could repeat it all, right? Or I could just keep going and they will miss it. But before I hit the admit button, I'm not going to tell you who this is. But I'll tell you that it's 10:16 a.m. So when you think about earning your grade, here's what I want you to think about for those of you who are here, for those of you especially who got here on time, and for those of you who got here on time and actually were scheduled to be here at 10. So for you students who are scheduled for 11:30, obviously you made an exception to be here. You did something because you were scheduled for an 11:30 class and you showed up at a 10, and that's kudos to you. But that wasn't really required, and I appreciate it. But for those of you who are supposed to be here at 10 and you did show up at 10, how would you feel if I spent the next 10 minutes repeating everything I said? Obviously, that would be a waste of time. And so my hope is that everyone who participates in this course will contribute what is necessary to learn what I'm going to do my best to teach you, and that you'll do your part and being responsible with the homework and the assignments. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But right now I'm about to admit a student who's late, which, it could be a student from the 11:30 class. I don't really know. And I'm just using this as an example to say, if you want to earn an A, I'm going to help you earn an A. I promise you I'm going to do everything I can this semester to help you earn an A, even though that is not my priority. That is, I couldn't care less if you earn an A or not, honestly. Because what I know is, and I'm going to admit this student, what I know is that you are going to earn whatever grade you earn. But what's way more important, in my opinion, than earning an A in this course is what you learn about how to manage money. Managing money is what personal finance is all about. And so this course, what I'm here to teach you, what I hope to teach you, and what I hope you want to learn is simply how to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. Now, that's the big idea in the course. That's what's on the syllabus. I'm going to open the syllabus here. Oh, we have the syllabus opened. So let me just go through the syllabus a little bit. That's the big idea in the course, to become a millionaire by the time you turn 50. And that's what I want to teach you. And so to do that, we have some assignments. Each week we'll have assignments. Each week I'll do some kind of talk, lecture. And you know what? It might not be just one big lecture. Like, there's no for one thing, I don't think you want to spend, an hour each week listening to me preach to you about personal finance. So I'm going to try to avoid that. So there may be small segments throughout the week, and I'm going to show you how you will get that content in your online course. I'll show you that in a minute. But first, let's spend a little time. This is the syllabus that I will be uploading to Blackboard. Again, I apologize that hasn't been done. So let's start off with the big idea. The big idea is to teach you how to be a millionaire by the time you're 50. So I'm going to pause for a minute, and I just want to know, how do you feel about that goal? You can chat in, you can speak up. I love to hear your voice. But what do you think about the goal of becoming a millionaire by the time you're 50? While you're thinking about, go ahead. I hear a voice.
I do have a question though.
Sure.
Why does it have to be about 50?
That's a great question, Charles. So, can anyone hear Charles' voice, or do I just hear Charles? Can you guys hear each other?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thanks, Jose. So, Charles, that's a great question. Why does it have to be 50? It does not have to be 50. Are you thinking more like 35, 25, maybe what? What are you thinking, Charles?
Um, no, it's not about the age. I think when I hear the concept be a millionaire by 50, it kind of I think about it as I have to be working 9 to 5, savings, raw saving, raw investment plans and stuff like that. Just I don't know, it's just working with somebody else. And for me, I just think that personally, I just started a business, and my goal is to get to that point by the age of 35.
Cool. Well, that's a great goal. And I'll tell you why 50, just so you know, with an honest answer, is because I know how to do that. And usually at this point in the semester, I have students who want to ask a question, but they're maybe I don't know. I can't read minds, but when we're in class together and I can look around and look in your eyes, at this point in the class, typically what I find is somebody wants to ask the question, the only question, the single question that I would want to ask if I was sitting in front of somebody telling me they could teach me how to do something that I really wanted to do. I have one question for that person. Does anybody know what that question might be?
I'm guessing how.
Well, how? Yeah, because, at this point, I told you what I'm going to teach you, and so the whole semester I have to teach you how to do it. But there's another question behind that question, to me, if I were you, that I'd care about, that I would want to know from this person. Yeah, Ariel, that's the question. Can you guys see each other's chats?
Yeah, I think the question is, are you a millionaire?
Yeah. And not only am I a millionaire, but I'm telling you I'm going to teach you how to become a millionaire, Charles, by the time you're 50. And so to answer your question, why is it 50? Why not 35? Why not 25? Why not age, 32? Because I don't know how to do that. I've never done that. I've never become a millionaire by the time I was 35. That's a whole lot more challenging than to do it by the age of 50. And yes, I've done that, and yes, I am, and it's not that big a goal. And here's the thing I want you all to know. And Charles, that's a great question, and that's the answer. The answer is because I don't think I could teach you how to become a millionaire by the time you're 35. That mathematics in that scenario are a little bit more challenging, and I'm not sure I could teach you how to do that. But I am sure. I'm very sure, very confident with all my heart and every fiber of my being that if you follow what I teach you, you will be able to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. Unless something happens in your life that's a big surprise, and that happens in many lives, where something happens, maybe you get hit by a truck, you get disabled, you get sick. There's all kinds of things that could prevent any goal from being achieved. But aside from those kind of things, if you just do what I teach you to do, it will become very clear and very easy for you to see how this goal will be accomplished. And that's what I'm going to teach you this semester. And that's what I'm confident about, because I know I can teach you how to become a millionaire by the time you're 50 if you follow a few basic principles and rules, and frankly, the 3 laws of personal finance, which we're going to unpack. If you do what I teach you to do, you'll find that it's really not that difficult to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. Some of my friends, including my best friend on the planet, my wife Connie, who I love with all my heart, when I started teaching this course over 10 years ago, I felt like I needed a very clear goal that would kind of flow through the entire course, including every homework assignment, every every lecture, every assignment had to be connected to that big goal. And that's what I've done. So we have 12 weeks. I have 12 weeks of content to teach you how to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. Hopefully after that 12 weeks we stay connected and you continue to listen to the things I say, because there's a lot of information in personal finance. And while I will teach you how to become a millionaire in this course by the time you're 50, there's a lot of things that could help you along the way. And I want to continue to provide, thoughtful, helpful resources and instruction even after the course. But the becoming a millionaire by the time you're 50, when I told my wife that was the big idea, that was going to be the big goal in the course, she really pushed back on that. She really thought that was she questioned whether or not that was good. And my wife, who is, we both share the same faith, and we believe that money is just a means to an end. Okay, it's not the end in itself. And if you decide that money is so important, if money is what matters most to you, you could easily achieve this goal of becoming a millionaire by the time you're 35 or 50 or whatever. But your life could be terribly empty. And that's what my wife was concerned about, that I would be teaching you that making money and becoming a millionaire or meeting some standard, some goal, would be what matters most. And so she was afraid that because I had that goal and that I was going to try to convince you that you could achieve that goal, that I would somehow be teaching you that this is like a very worthy goal, a very important goal for your life. And while I do believe that, look, here's what I told my wife. I said, look, there's two alternatives here. You can either do the things that you have to do, the disciplines that help you achieve certain goals and outcomes, or you can be irresponsible, you can be lazy, you can totally disregard the basic rules, boundaries, and limitations that are involved in managing money. And if you look around, you'll see that a whole lot of people do that. And so I told my wife, I appreciated her pushback. Everybody needs somebody to be honest and say, here's what I really think. And so I appreciated that. But after our conversation, I was even more convinced, I had even more clarity about why this is the goal that I want to teach you. This is what I want to achieve in this course. And along the way, I want to help you understand that no matter what you do financially, no matter what goals you achieve, they're meaningless. They're absolutely meaningless in terms of, the meaning of your life, the purpose for your life. But on the other hand, I think it's reasonable to assume that people that just follow basic disciplines of managing money and managing life are going to be way more successful than the people who don't. Okay, does that make sense? And not to tease anyone, but I have two people waiting to come in it's actually one person, looks like on two different devices who are coming in. So I'm going to admit them. Admit. So I just admitted some new folks. It is now 10:29 a.m. Welcome. Now I'm going to look at the chat. So I've talked a lot. You've listened. Hopefully you're not, watching Netflix. That happens occasionally. And I get it. I'm not as fun to listen to as something maybe on Netflix. So Jose says, I believe it's realistic, the goal of becoming a millionaire by the time you're 50, but it can be difficult and challenging based on the person's ability to save money and set it aside for investment and where they invested in. For example, your own mattress versus mutual fund. Lots of laughs. Oh yeah, your own mattress, like putting the money under the mattress. Got it. Versus a mutual fund. Lots of laughs. Also, we need to also take account of emergencies and market political impacts on our economy. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff, Jose. It is a ton of stuff, and I'm going to sum up my answer to your. It's really not a question. It's a comment, and it's a great comment. It's thoughtful comment, and I appreciate it. But what I'm going to tell you is the same thing I tell clients who hire me to help them manage investments and put together an effective and compelling financial plan for their life, whether it's retirement they're pursuing or they want to move into that dream house or whatever it is. It's going to take money to achieve it. It's going to take a plan, certain steps, and here's what I tell them is over time, we're going to see all kinds of reasons that our investments are going to go up and go down. And the thing that you can do to take advantage of those opportunities is to have a plan, a consistent, systematic investing plan, which means you have to first start out with a disciplined and systematic savings plan, because you can't invest if you're not saving. If you don't have money to invest, you can't do it. Now, I know you could tell me you could do it on margin. You could borrow money to invest, which is just not really very smart, because you could end up losing it all and having debt on top of debt when you do that. So I know all the tricks and all the easy ways that are out there to teach you how to do it. But the truth is, if you follow a good plan, Jose, I think that was Jose, yes. If you follow a good, solid plan, which I'm going to teach you, in fact, this semester you're going to build a plan. That's one of the things you're going to do to learn personal finances. You're going to actually build a financial plan. I'm going to help you do that. And so if you do that, then all of these uncertainties, all of these things that you mention and things that you didn't even mention will be kind of addressed in your plan. A plan isn't a guarantee. A plan isn't, it's not a roadmap with no detours. There's always detours, always unexpected things. But a plan gives you the basis to adapt to whatever happens. And a plan is the key, in my opinion. And so I'm going to teach you how to make a plan based on certain principles. And again, the 3 laws of personal finance, which you're going to learn. I'll tell you what they are right quick. The first law of personal finance is the law of spending and saving. Spend less than you earn so you can save more for what matters most. The law of spending and saving is the most important law of personal finance. But it's also the most disregarded law of personal finance. And if you look around, you'll see what I mean. A lot of people that you know don't save. They don't have an emergency fund. Maybe you don't have an emergency fund. They don't have any way of dealing with an emergency because they haven't saved. And because of that, they have to make really bad financial choices in those moments when the unexpected happens. So the first law that I want you to know about is the law of spending and saving. You spend less than you earn so you can save more for what matters most, starting with an emergency fund. So I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to consider setting up an emergency fund, whether that's, if you have $100 right now saved, you need to make a goal to have $500 saved by the end of the semester. If you have nothing saved right now, $100 isn't that much more than nothing. At least make a goal that you're going to have $500 saved. If you've already got $500, make your goal to be $1,000. And if you already have $1,000 saved in your emergency fund, good for you. But maybe you should have a goal to make it, $2,500? But get a good, solid emergency fund set aside. And when I say set aside, I mean away from your debit card, so it's not connected. So it's not super easy for you to access. That's a big, helpful goal. For most of you, especially those of you who haven't done that yet, if you just do that one thing, that's one big thing that can help you along this journey to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. And if you decide you're going to put it off and put it off and put it off, well, maybe you'll become a millionaire by the time you're 65. But the key in this game is to do the right thing and do it as soon as possible. Start doing the right thing today. So that's the first law of personal finance. The second law of personal finance is what I call the law of tax-advantaged investing. So, Jose, that was part of your question. Whether we're talking about a mutual fund or an exchange-traded fund, I'm going to teach you about investing. It's probably the most popular topic, without a doubt, in this course is the investment portion. So I'm going to teach you 4 strategies, 4 investment strategies that will help you maximize returns and minimize risk. That's the most popular part of the course, and I really think it falls under this second law of personal finance, which is the law of tax advantaged investing. So I'm not going to go over those 4 strategies today, but I will go over them more than once throughout the semester. And I promise you, you're going to learn how to invest so that when you finish this course, you're going to feel a high level of confidence about what to do when you graduate from college and you get that dream job where you now actually have the income and the wherewithal to save and invest. I'm going to teach you how to do that. It's the second law of personal finance. I was born on April 15th. Do you know what day that is? April 15th? Anybody? April 15th?
Was it the day you were born?
It was the day I was born, April 15th.
I'm sorry. I just had to.
Yeah. April. Does anybody know what April 15th is? Tax day. Yes. Go ahead. Jose, was that you? So, yeah, it's tax day. And so, just wanted you to know, the second law of personal finance is very close to my heart. The law of tax advantaged investing. April 15th is tax day, so tax deductions are very key in this whole process. Tax law, tax strategies, tax, how to save tax. So another thing I want you to know is my first son was born on December 31st. So you see a storyline developing here. I was born on April 15th. I learned about tax deductions early on in my life, and my first child was born on December 31st, which means that I never even changed his diaper before I got to deduct an entire child credit, which was I think it was $1,250 that year, which basically means I get a tax deduction for an entire year, even though my son was born on the last day of the year. My second child was born on October 15th. If you know anything about corporate taxes are due on October 15th. So I'm just saying that taxes matter, and paying attention to how you manage your investments with respect to tax law is pretty important. And so that's why it made the list of the top 3. The second law of personal finance is the law of tax advantaged investing. The IRS makes the rules. Your job, and what I'm going to try to teach you, is how to take advantage of those rules. It's going to be a big key in terms of you achieving the goal of becoming a millionaire by the time you're 50. So that's the second law of personal finance. And the third law of personal finance is hands down the most important. I know I told you that the law of spending and saving is the most important, and it is, but the third law of personal finance is the law of purpose and commitment. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about, the fact that I'm going to try to teach you. I'm not going to try. I am going to teach you. The question is, are you going to learn it? And you will be able to learn it if you just show up and do the homework. I will teach you how to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. Charles, if you decide to do it by the time you're 35, I expect a little, dinner, maybe some, something to say, hey, I helped you. Hopefully I can help you. You may already know everything you need to know, and you're just taking this course because you know it's an easy A, or whatever.
No, actually, I love this class because I think this course in general, I think it should be taught in middle schools or high schools. Based on what you were saying, there's a reason why a lot of people don't really, even in my family and my friends, they don't know how to handle their money. They don't know how to save. They always spend more money than they have because nobody actually have taken the time, even in high school, middle school, have teach them this this course. And it's kind of sad for me personally that it's only taught in college. Because when I was in high school or middle school, nobody taught it. So I think that's why a lot of people don't really know how to manage their money because they don't know how to. They wasn't taught how to do so. So for me personally, out of this whole semester, this is the only class to be fairly honest that I actually care about because every other class is just this is my last semester, so every other class I don't really I don't really care much about it. Not just I'm not gonna take it serious, but this course is for me as a business owner, I I'm very, very interested
Charles, that warms my heart to hear because, I feel blessed to get to teach this course, honestly. I mean, most people that I talk to, they say, you get to teach college, that's really cool. And it is really cool. It's more cool when we get to do it in the classroom and we get to see each other. But this is not terrible. I mean, hearing your voice and hearing your heart gives me a great deal of genuine appreciation that I get to do what I get to do. And when I started teaching this course, I felt like it's the most important course you'll ever take in college, because when I was in college, I discovered this idea of becoming a millionaire, something I never dreamed I could ever do. But I read a book, one of my favorite books. I would encourage you to read it. It's called The Millionaire Next Door. Very simple read. It's a bunch of stories about these people that live in houses that look like my house. A regular house on a regular street in a regular neighborhood, driving regular cars, not fancy, not new cars, not a really big house, not a lot of fancy stuff, but they were called the Millionaire Next Door. And one of the things they did, this is what got my attention. The Millionaire Next Door, one of the things they loved to do was buy used cars and get a really good deal on a used car. And I happened to be a master mechanic. That's how I paid for college. And so I knew I could do that. I could buy used cars for the rest of my life and be very happy with driving a used car that was well built, in good shape. And the money that I would save by buying a used car and paying cash for it, instead of buying a new car and paying all the finance fees, that one thing would help me tremendously in this one goal of becoming a millionaire, like these people in that book called The Millionaire Next Door. And so when I was in college, I got this idea in my head, and then it went directly to my heart that said, yeah, if I'm smart, if I work hard, I may not be a millionaire, but I'll be able to save enough money. Maybe one day I could become a millionaire by the time I die. And then I learned a few things, and I met this man who was a millionaire, and he was a client of mine as I was a State Farm agent. I was helping people. I was a certified financial planner, and I was helping people. But I ran into this one dude. His name was JD, and JD was, he didn't teach. He did teach. We both taught. We did Little League. We were both Little League coaches, and he was a Little League coach. He taught my kids how to play Little League T-ball, and I taught his boy Travis, and it was fun. It was something we did. But this dude ends up showing up in my office after I became a certified financial planner. I was a State Farm agent, but I was also a certified financial planner. He walked in my office and he wanted somebody to give him a second opinion on his investments. He said, I've been doing this by myself for a long time. I just wanted somebody to kind of look over my shoulder and tell me what they think. And so I know you, Jim. I trust you. I wanted to see if you'd be willing to do that. I'm like, sure. So I looked over his shoulder, and guess what I saw? The dude was a millionaire. He was my age at the time, probably 40 years old. And, I'm like, dude, how did you do this? And he told me how he did it. He said, I started saving. When I got out of college, I started putting money in my 401k, and I decided whatever the rules were at the IRS, the rule was you can only put so much money in your 401k. He said, I'm going to do that. So he did that. He said we couldn't afford a bigger house, a newer car, but I was able to do that. And every time the IRS changed the rules and increased the amount, he said I would do that first. He's like, that's all I did. I listened to the IRS rules, looked at the rules, and whatever the rules were, I made sure that I maxed out my investments according to the IRS rules. That's what he did. And then he said in 1998, they came out with the Roth IRA. And he said, my wife doesn't work, but she was able to do a spousal Roth IRA. So they both did the Roth IRA. They did it every year. They maxed it out. Every time they raised the amount, the limit, he would raise his contribution. I'm like, dude, that is such a simple plan. Now, this was before I started teaching this course, but that second law of personal finance, The Law of Tax Advantage Investing comes straight from JD. It's not out of a textbook. It's from this man who I knew, who drove a minivan just like me, lived in a little ugly house in a little neighborhood with basically track houses, and he was saving his money way better than I was. And he inspired me then and there to become a millionaire by the time I was 50. And it was not difficult because I used the same approach he did. I maxed out all my investments according to the IRS rules. So I appreciate getting to teach you what I've learned along the way. And I promise you, if you do what I teach you, just like I did what JD taught me, it'll work. It'll work remarkably well with a lot less work, a lot less effort than you think, if you're willing to apply a little discipline along the way. So, all right. Let's see. I'm looking for comments, questions. We're getting close to the end, and I'll tell you that these Zoom meetings, we schedule them for an hour, but I try to finish them sooner than that. But today, I'll always stay and answer all of your questions, and I'll be available afterwards if you have more questions. So don't be shy about posting questions or speaking up. Again, I'd love to hear your voice, even though I can't see your face. I mean, some of you are showing me your face. All right, KP says, are we required to pay $75 for the Money Study Group course? If not, can I still earn an A without buying the course? What's the paid course that you won't cover in class? Okay, so that's a great question, KP. The answer is yes. If you want the content, you have to pay the $75. There's a tremendous amount of cost that goes into the content that you're going to get in this class, and you're paying a small fraction, tiny fraction. But yeah, you have to do that. Before we did this online, we used curriculum from Dave Ramsey. It was $100, and it hadn't been updated in like 10 years, and it was good. It was helpful. I liked it, but I had no control over it, and it was outdated, and it didn't hit the mark as well. So I decided to create an entire new course, and to do that, I had to invest some serious money in a lot of things, including, the machinery that I'm using right now, the technology, the platform that your course is on. And this semester in particular, just to answer your question a little further, the reason that's a $75 investment for you is because we needed a course that was fast. We needed a portal, rather, that was fast. We've been doing this for a couple of years, and we got to, a few thousand students, and it started to get really slow. And that's the only complaint I've gotten from this course. So this semester, we've changed platforms. It should be much quicker when you log into your online portal. But the answer is yes. If you don't enroll, you will not get an A. You will not be able to pass. You won't even be able to complete your assignments. All of your assignments will be turned in Blackboard. All of your assignments will be posted in Blackboard. But all of the content that you need to prepare for your assignments will be in your online portal. And so let me talk about that for just a minute. When I say your online portal, there's your Money Study Group. That's where the content will be. That's where you'll have some conversations with me throughout the semester. That's where you're going to basically do the work that's required so you can complete your homework assignment in Blackboard. That's the online course. But then in addition to that, not this week, I think it's next week, maybe the week after, you will be logging into registering on a different portal, and this portal is your financial planning portal. So part of what you're going to do this semester, a big part of what you're going to do this semester, is create and build your own financial plan, and I'm going to teach you how to do that in the online course, which is why you have to enroll. You have to pay the $75. You have access to all the technology that's part of this course, but part of that is your online planning portal. So you're going to have two portals that comes with that. One is just the online training content, and the other one is the online financial planning portal where you actually build your financial plan. And in that planning portal, we will be working on that, building modules along the way throughout the semester so that by the end of the semester, you will be ready to create what's called the capstone assignment. You'll hear about that all through the semester. Everything you do in terms of your financial plan will be working towards you having a completed capstone assignment, which is really a comprehensive financial plan. That's what we're going to do this semester. So, in order for you to do that, you have to be enrolled, you have to pay the $75, you have to have the credentials online to get into those two portals. So thanks for the question. I know a lot of you have already registered at moneystudygroup.com. That's great. You registered, and that's great, but you didn't enroll. So you don't enroll until you pay the money to be inside the course. So you need to do that. All right, let me jump over here and let me first look and see if I have any other questions or comments. Okay.
Question.
Yes, Raymond.
How's it going? So I noticed there's two group links. I was wondering which one we're going to be using. I saw one that says Personal Finance, Spring 2022, and then the one you recently created.
I thought the one I recently created was Spring 2022. That should be the one we're using.
Okay. So the other one says Busy 3300.
Yeah, I don't. Tell me where you got the link. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to post inside Money Study Group. There will be a link. In fact, I just checked it. I'll check it again to make sure that the link goes to the correct GroupMe group.
Yes, there is a GroupMe invitation for Money Study Group, right, which says it expires in 48 hours. That link is broken.
Okay. And that's on Money Study Group?
No, that's like, if you click on course content, right, and you scroll down, you see the group invitation for Money Study Group. When you click on it, it's like, it's broken.
Yeah, so I also tried to click that link, and it doesn't take you anywhere.
Okay. So tell me again, where are you getting that link? I missed.
So, if you go Blackboard, right, and you click on content, and then you see weekly Zoom meeting link. Then if you scroll down below, you will see a GroupMe invitation for Money Study Group.
Okay.
And when you click on the open invitation link, it says expires in 48 hours. But when you click on it, it is broken.
Got it. So that's easy to fix. My Blackboard link is from last semester. I grabbed the shell. I'm lazy. Sorry. I'll fix.
I also had a couple of other questions, Professor.
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. So I started on the introduction of Money Study Group, and I noticed, I see just a discussion thing on the top right. And I was wondering if we need to answer that, in every single one of them. And also, I noticed at the very end it always says leave a comment, take a screenshot, and I was wondering what that's about.
Cool. Great question. Was that Cole? I missed who asked that question. Raymond. Awesome. Raymond, those are great questions. So about the comments, yes, I try to, hold on, I have a student who wants to enter. And I said I would enter students. And again, it's 10:53. Oh, looks like they left. So the answer to your question about the comments, I try to put, leave a comment on every post. You do not need to leave a comment on every post. But here's the thing. If you're participating in some piece of content and you're thinking, man, that really hit the mark, or it really made me think, or it really was helpful, any of those kind of reactions, I want you to have an opportunity to leave a comment. The last thing I want is everybody robotically leaving comments everywhere. That's just a waste of time, and I don't even want to read those. But I definitely want to read comments where you go, you know what, this really helped me, this really made sense, whatever, something like that. I do want you to leave comments. And the reason I want you to take screenshots, we didn't talk about this, but I'm getting ready to jump into the syllabus, and hopefully you can see the syllabus now. I just want to make sure you can see these points. So you're going to have participation points, 200 points I call class collaboration, class participation, and this is what that is. So when you're grabbing those screenshots, you're just grabbing documentation for yourself to say, I contributed, I collaborated, I participated, I commented. And every time you do something like every week, I'm going to say specifically, I want you to do this, grab the screenshot, and that will typically be in your Blackboard assignment. It will say, grab a screenshot for the comments you leave this week. So that's why it says grab a screenshot, because I want to make sure you're reminded to grab a screenshot when you leave a comment so that you kind of create a little inventory of all of your class participation throughout the semester. And then you just grab that screenshot and paste it into your assignment. So let me talk about assignments for a minute, because this is really important, and this is a skill that you're going to have to learn. It's called screenshots. If you don't know how to take a screenshot, Mr. Google is a great teacher. You got to know how to take a screenshot. And that means, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to have, I'm going to have to give you feedback throughout the semester, because a lot of people are going to want to take a picture of their screen and then submit that as a screenshot. And I know that's easy, and believe me, because I'm lazy, I would do the same thing. But I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to require that you take a proper screenshot and you save it and then you paste it into your assignment. So I'm assuming most of you are going to be doing your weekly articles. Every week you get an assignment, and each week it will be pretty much an article. And then when you do the capstone, that will be another article. But in each of these weekly assignments, you're going to create a document, probably in Word. That's great. But you're not going to submit it in Blackboard in Word. You're going to submit it in Blackboard in a PDF. And so when you do that, when you create your document, you're going to take those screenshots and you're going to put them in the appropriate place on your Word document. And then you're going to hit File, Save As, PDF, or however you want to export your Word document or whatever document you're using to a PDF document, which is what you're going to submit in Blackboard. Does that make sense? PDF only. Typically, every assignment this semester is going to be a PDF document. And the reason for that is I get a wide range of, different types of documents with different file extensions, and I can't always open them. And so just to make it super efficient for me to be able to give you a grade on time, I'm going to grade your stuff every week. So that's important that you turn it in as a PDF, and that's what the screenshots are for. So great question. I'm going to look at...
I understand, Professor. I have a couple other questions, sorry.
Sure, no.
Also, it says, consider leaving a helpful comment below. But, there's nothing below. Does that mean the discussion in the top right corner?
Yeah. Again, this is a new platform for me. I'm trying to figure out exactly how it all works, and it looks like the way that this works is I have to create a document for the discussion, and that link is always going to be at the top right of the page. In the past, it's always been at the bottom, and that's why I said leave a comment below. I think I need to fix that. So yes.
Okay, and also comments in every platform, really. That could either be GroupMe, Money Study Group, etc.
Not GroupMe. I'm going to talk about GroupMe for a minute, but yeah, everything else, starting with Money Study Group, that's the number one, and then Facebook and YouTube. If you're comfortable leaving public comments, that's even better. But if you're not comfortable leaving public comments, leave them in Money Study Group. But in GroupMe, that's a unique space for you guys. So GroupMe is for you. I will not be participating much in GroupMe unless I'm needed. So your GroupMe activity is for you guys to help one another. You do want to grab screenshots, because if you answer a question for a student, like one of the students who showed up, like this one I'm getting ready to admit right now, this student missed the entire course, the entire lecture, and they're going to have questions, and you're going to be kind enough to answer their questions in GroupMe. And then you want to grab a screenshot to say, hey, I participated, I answered a question. That's great. You get extra points for that. You don't really get extra points, but you get super points, that 200 points. You accumulate those quickly by doing that kind of activity. Does that make sense, Raymond?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
And also with the screenshots, would you like for us to upload it at the very end of the article? Or
Yeah. I would just dump it into the bottom of the article, and then when I grade it, I scroll down to look. So yeah, in fact, let me make that the protocol. All screenshot. Well, so you're going to have a lot of screenshots, Raymond. And when we get into the financial planning, you're going to want the screenshots to be in the section that they apply to. But the class participation screenshots are special, so those can go at the bottom. And let's just make that the protocol. Your screenshots to kind of document your class participation, let's put those at the bottom of the article, just consistently. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. So back to GroupMe. I'm going to get that fixed. I'm going to get the syllabus correctly uploaded. But here's something I do need, and I know we're getting close to being out of time. But each semester, GroupMe is your resource. It's a place for you to ask each other questions, to snark on the professor, to complain about the assignments or whatever. Honestly, I try to stay out of it. But here's what I need. I need a student, if there's any honor students in the course who need to petition the professor for a project, this is your opportunity. This is not the only way we can do this, but this is one way. I need a student volunteer to be the mediator, the go-between between GroupMe and me. So in other words, if there are questions being asked in GroupMe, like today, there were some really good questions in the Zoom meeting, like the syllabus is outdated, the GroupMe link is broken. I need to know that. And if it's being posted in GroupMe, and I'm not spying on you, I'm not going into GroupMe because I kind of feel like that's your space, I'll come in there every once in a while and answer a question or post something, but typically I'm not going to GroupMe every day. So I need somebody, a student who likes to be involved in GroupMe, who can kind of monitor, and when they see something that nobody knows the answer to, they text me or email me and say, hey, we have a problem, go fix it. And I will go fix it. And you will be a treasured resource in this course this semester if you volunteer for that role. So I'm looking for a volunteer. Anybody that wants to volunteer can volunteer. Yes.
What is the correct this? If you volunteer, you get a extra credit.
Oh, that's a good question. So again, typically, if you're an honor student, you have to do a special project. So this would be that. If you're not an honor student and you want to volunteer, just let me know. But first, I'm going to give this opportunity. I want to get through the first week and see if we have any honor students who need that extra project, okay? Because I'm not really looking for a way to give you extra credit right now, but if I'm willing to negotiate. So in other words, if I'm in a pinch and I need somebody and I have to give extra credit, I'll do that. But Charles, if you decide to raise your hand and say you want that job, I just need to know that you'll be, attentive and involved in GroupMe so that you get, and that'll kind of be the deal. But I need at least one student to do that. And
I would volunteer if I do get extra credit. If there's nothing attached to it, then
yeah, I hear you. Why do it? I'm with you, man. So no problem. I will keep that in mind. If we do extra credit, it would basically be like one assignment. So each assignment is worth 50 points. You would get, I would make it worth your time if we do that. But again, I need to first check to see if we have any honor students because that's worked really well in the past. But Charles, you're my first guy. I'm assuming if you say yes, you'll be very responsible with the project. Yes?
absolutely.
And would 50 points be enough extra credit, or would you need like 500?
I was like, since you said 50, I was gonna go like, 75.
So you want to negotiate with me already. That's awesome. We're doing negotiation, by the way. Let me show you the assignments here. Charles, I'm just messing with you, but no problem. You're on my list. So here's the assignments and the due dates, and this will be posted in Blackboard. Again, I apologize for not having the current one in Blackboard, and I know it's hard for you to see right now, but we do have a week of bargaining and negotiating. That's where we're going to focus on the skills relative to bargaining and negotiating. It's fun. But the first week, let's make sure we get this one done. This is information you're going to see in Money Study Group. So you have to enroll to access all of this. But again, I'm going to post it in Blackboard. All of your assignments will be posted in Blackboard. All of your assignments will be submitted to Blackboard. That doesn't mean you won't be doing some homework stuff in your online portal. You will. But everything will be documented, and the assignments that are graded for your grades will all be in Blackboard. Hopefully that's clear. One of the things I want you to think about right now as we wrap up today, you don't see an assignment listed, but I'm going to be posting an assignment at the end of the semester where you're going to be responsible for keeping track of your spending throughout the semester. So I don't know how you track your spending. I'll tell you this, I use a credit card and I keep it in my phone. I have 2 credit cards, a personal credit card and a business credit card. So all of everything I spend goes on a credit card. I don't really use a debit card. I don't even own a debit card. Most of you use a debit card, so that's great. If you say what you're with Bank of America, everything you spend, you use that debit card. Bank of America keeps track of all those transactions. So you would probably answer this question. Here's the question. What are you going to use this semester to track your expenses, to track your spending? What tool are you going to use? So that's this week's big additional piece. I need you to answer this question in this week's assignment. It will be posted in Blackboard. What tool are you going to use to track your spending this semester? At the end of the semester, I'm going to give you an assignment. It'll be worth 50 points. And to get the points, you're going to need to show me the data. That means you're going to have to be using something. If it's Bank of America app, great. If it's mint.com, by the way, that's the #1 vote for keeping track of all of your expenses and your spending. Mint.com, they have a great app. If you use the portal that you're going to have access to, it's just as secure as mint.com. Bank level security and encryption. You'll see that once you have an opportunity to log in. If you link your cards in that portal, it will do the same thing, and it will bring it all into your financial plan. So I know it may sound confusing right now, but I just want you to think about how are you going to track your spending this semester. You're going to need to commit to some way of doing that. If you're already doing that, you know the answer. If you're not doing that, you need to think about it, because this week I'm going to ask you to commit to use a tool to track your spending. And then at the end of the semester, you're going to have an assignment with 3 pieces. 1 is show me the data. 2 is show me a chart. Create a chart based on all that data, like a spreadsheet, a chart, a pie chart, a graph chart, whatever. And number 3 is I want you to tell me what you learned about yourself this semester in terms of how you spend your money, how you prioritize your spending. So it's called the spending plan assignment, and the spending plan assignment will be at the end of the semester, but you can't do that assignment if you don't track your expenses throughout the semester. So start doing that today, and you'll get that assignment in Blackboard. It's Tuesday. I always post assignments on Tuesday, so when we finish the course, I've got a couple of things, when we finish the meeting rather, I have a couple of things I need to do. Update the syllabus in Blackboard, fix the GroupMe link in Blackboard. Anything else? Any questions, comments? Anything?
I have a question.
Yes.
So is this class synchronous or asynchronous? Because I'm on the 11:30 one, but other people say there was a 10 o'clock one, so I'm a little bit confused.
Well, I appreciate you being here, and you came late, which explains why you came late, Daniel, because you're on the 11:30. So thanks for being here. Did I freeze up?
So is this 10:30 or 11:30?
So this is it's asynchronous right now. We're for the first couple of weeks we're online.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to be online at 11:32. If you want to jump in on that call, you're welcome to. But this is being posted to Facebook and YouTube.
Okay, cool. All right, perfect.
All right. Looks like I froze up. That's ugly. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. All right, any other questions before we wrap this up? I think I covered everything. I'm going to post this syllabus where it needs to be posted. Don't forget, you're going to have class participation. It's worth 200 points, so start grabbing those screenshots as you leave comments, as you learn things and you want to share any comments. Just grab a screenshot, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or in Money Study Group. Don't grab screenshots from GroupMe unless you're helping another student answer a question. In that case, absolutely grab the screenshot. But don't grab a screenshot from GroupMe just to say, hey, I left a comment. Just make sure it's something that's helpful for another student if you grab a screenshot from GroupMe. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up at this point unless there's any comments. I'm looking. Jose says Bank of America app dashboard is a great feature under the mobile app for it is. And whether you're with Chase or Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they all have great apps. So that's for sure. So Alejandro asks, you don't spend money using anything else? I'm assuming you mean anything other than my credit cards, and the answer would be not much. Although I did have a few things this last quarter that required me to use Zelle, which I never used until this over Christmas. Yes, we're meeting once a week, Jose. We will meet on Zoom once a week. If you can't make it, it will be live streamed to Facebook and YouTube. And so, yes.
Thank you, Professor. It's very nice meeting you.
You too. It's great meeting all of you. I'm sorry I froze up and you're getting to see my ugly mug looking like I froze up. Have a great day. I will be available if you have any questions. My email address and my mobile phone will be on the syllabus, so you can contact me. If it's important, feel free to contact me that way. All right. Have a great week, you guys.
Thank you, Professor. You too.
Thank you, Esther.
Professor, I have a question.
Sure.
So, you said we have to register on the Money Study Group?
Correct.
So, I registered already through my Gmail. Is there a way that you're gonna know who signed up for it? Or?
Oh, yes.
Hold on.
Did you enroll or did you register?
I purchased it already.
Okay.
I used my email that is, I guess, synchronated with my UH email.
Perfect. You can use whatever email you want. You just need to keep track of that yourself.
Okay, got you. Because I was thinking of using the the one they gave you at UH, like UH.edu.
Yeah.
But I used my other email. Will that affect? Or no?
It doesn't matter a bit.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
That's fine.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Bye, Frizz.
Okay, anybody else? I'm going once, going twice. All right, I'm going to